Hey guys, welcome to the second set between Idra and Incontrol. We have Incontrol starting at the 5 o'clock position as the teal zerg. At the 9 o'clock position, we have Idra starting as the purple terran. Again, this is the WCG 2009 qualifiers, the group stages at the US Finals in New York. It's going to be on Tau Cross this time, a map which I think will favor Incontrol. At least it'll be better for his style of play. Idra's still very strong against zerg and still, I would say, the favorite to win this entire tournament, but on a map like Destination, it's absolutely brutal for Incontrol. Particularly against a guy like Idra. Maybe he'll have some more success here. Let's see what he can pull out of his sleeve. I think the big strength for Incontrol is just his game sense, and really, yeah, when you can just find the holes in your opponent's defense like this, you really instinctively know, even without scouting, where your opponent's troops are headed, just because of the timings on the map, things like that. I think that's one of the reasons he's so good at zerg versus zerg. You can really end up in a great position altogether. So we'll see what he can do here on Tau Cross. Let's see what Idra's going to do to kind of counter it. I think you can just see he had that plan set out in game one. He was like, okay, I'm not going to let those zerglings sneak by me and take me out into that mid game, and really played very well against it. And I think that really the game to picture there was, first of all, that SCV scout. That SCV scout was brutal, stayed alive for absolutely ever, snuck around the base, and also that Mutalisk harass was stopped extremely short. I thought Idra was going to cut it very, very close there, but I'm sorry for this jet in the background. Can't control it, it's the military. But yeah, he played that perfectly and had the timing just down pat from when the Mutalisks were coming across field and getting those turrets up. Looks like Idra is going to do some early scouting, make sure that nothing too crazy is up. Going to come out to the, looks like, upper right-hand base. Incontrol, in the meantime, is going to go for another 12 build, probably a 12 hatch, and I think this is going to be our 12 hatchery drone right there. And on the opposite end, looks like Idra kind of building that barracks to the backhand corner. Kind of curious about the positioning there, maybe to provide a little bit of, because this isn't anywhere near a front door seal, maybe it's to present the stage for the additional barracks when they're planted kind of along that left-hand corner. Usually I see them more to the right, but we'll kind of see how that plays out in the mid-game. I know that Incontrol has some very creative builds on this map. I'm kind of curious if he'll go for that early, if he'll just transition into early game lurkers, leave some traps out in the field, and then try to transition to late game Ultralisk. I think that's where he plays strongest, actually, is when he goes for the early evolution chambers and kind of plays off his mid game lurker and just relies basically on the mid game, that third base play where he can get that 3 gas, get the Ultralisks out there, and just kind of move all over the field. Right now, not just holding his drone back. I think he saw what he wanted to see, which was that barracks. It looks like he's going to see this approaching Marine, trying to block off this one barrack expansion from Idra. Idra is going to be able to get that command center down without too much trouble, though. There's that spawning pool to follow, and once again, Idra, let's not completely cutting out Marines here. So at least at this stage, we had Incontrol on the front door, so Idra at least had to produce a Marine to block off that that command center. But a pretty safe situation here, and a quick third hatchery from Incontrol. He's really pushing economy quickly. You can see he's just got the 2 zerglings and otherwise just trying to produce nothing but drones, which may be a mistake against Idra, actually. I would say 6 zerglings early might not be a bad idea to put a guy who, you know, when he can see everything you're doing, can just flat out outplay you. Just put him in the dark, give him a little bit of doubt, force him to play a little bit safer, and then get greedy. I would think might be the better option here. But maybe you can get lucky with the SCV scout here. Looks like 1 zergling actually trailing a little bit behind. 3 drones now being transitioned to gas off this third hatchery. And looks like Idra is going to transition up. Let's see if he puts down that early academy once again. Just now transitioning back those 3 SCV to gas. It looks like he does have that academy planted. He's going to want that fire bat sooner rather than later, just in case he loses that SCV scout and gets kind of pushed, or you can see these, or just in case some zerglings are coming across. I'm kind of waiting to see if we're going to see a second gas this second, but it looks like we are going to see that evolution chamber from Incontrol, and I think this is again where this is his bread and butter play. This is where he plays most comfortably, is getting the early upgrades, just kind of holding that upgrade advantage throughout the mid game, relying on more lurker play, I would say, although he could potentially transition here into Mutalisks here. We'll have to see, although they're going to be somewhat delayed as a result of that evolution chamber and probably the Carapace upgrade. So and it looks like Idra is transitioning. He's running smoothly. He's already got that academy up. He's already got the supply depot down, and he's already producing those fire bats, which he's really going to be keen on again. although he's still got that SCV alive here in the back of the base and seeing nothing but drones. I think actually it might have been worthwhile to kind of transition to the back corner and kind of check things out, creep colony out in the front, and maybe he was worrying about that third expansion that might have been in the dark, just pumping nothing but zerglings at this stage though. But let's see if he's going to test that front door nevertheless with the fire bat. I only see looks like 1, 2 in transition, 2 medics. And with those fire bats, if you can have them absorb those first 2 hits on the sunken colonies, and if your opponent has actually gone very light on the zerglings in particular, sometimes you can just force your way in. There's that Hydralisk Den for in control. Zerglings still having trouble killing this SCV scout, so and it looks like a second SCV scout, that kind of an emergency SCV scout moving into. I think this is more to test the front door, see how many sunken colonies there are there before Idra pushes out. It looks like he is going to see the single sunken colony, getting it killed though before not too long. Just didn't want to waste the comms out just in case of the lurkers perhaps, or maybe wanted to expend them on the first lurker that might have been produced there. There's the engineering bay being produced, and now Idra moving out in the field, has the fire bats, has the medic marines, and yeah, I think he actually might do a press here before not too long. It doesn't look like Incontrol has anything out in the field to really spot this. Isn't going to see this coming. I don't see any overlords in transition. I don't see any zerglings to absorb this. And additionally, he's very light on the zerglings and doesn't have a okay, finally putting down a second creep colony, but if Idra pushes this, it looks like he's holding off actually. In the middle of the map. If he had just proceeded on through, I think he would have been able to take this out. And with some nice micro, he still might be able to take this out if there's no zerglings. If he can just keep moving forward actually, I think he might be able to press against this with just the 2 zerglings here as they're morphing. But holding up just short. They're stimming before moving out, and he's still going to go for it, running up. The fire bats didn't lead there, so it looks like some of the zerglings taking some damage. But now the fire bat's going to be able to do a lot of damage on these drones. On the free attacks, the drones coming off the line trying to provide some defense. So at the very least, Incontrol going to lose a lot of economy. Both sunken colonies go down anyway, and Incontrol has to GG. Yeah, just did not have the zerglings to provide any defense. Really needed that additional cushion against that early fire bat rush. And Idra just able to run in, penetrate, and sink him altogether. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.